Rick.
Look who's here.
Okay,
Hey, Rick.
let me guess. I see a lot of smiles.
Morale is definitely high.
Right here?
Oak Island doesn't give up her secrets very easy.
No, she does not.
The curse of Oak Island has claimed 6 lives in its search for treasure. But what if the curse wasn't a curse at all, but a security system? A new AI analysis of the island's intricate tunnels and flood channels suggests they weren't designed to protect gold, but to contain something far more dangerous. The AI has pinpointed the source, an active power core of unknown origin. This discovery has been so alarming that the entire operation is now under a veil of secrecy. The treasure isn't the prize, it's the bait, and humanity just took it. The anomaly in Zone 17. The thing nobody tells you is that after decades of hitting dead ends, the team decided to try something radically different. They turned the entire 200-year-old problem over to an artificial intelligence. This wasn't just any program, it was a quantum AI system designed to find patterns that the human brain could never see. You see, the team fed the AI everything. We're talking every single page from every explorer's journal, every sonar scan of the bedrock, every ground-penetrating radar image, and thousands of satellite photos taken over 50 years.
I mean, this is incredibly interesting. What do we do next?
It analyzed the chemical composition of soil samples, the carbon dating of wood fragments, and even the strange symbols on the infamous 90-foot stone. For 72 hours, the machine processed terabytes of data, cross-referencing information in ways no human team could in a lifetime. What many overlooked was that the AI wasn't looking for treasure chests. It was looking for anomalies, breaks in the natural order of the island. On the 3rd day, the results came in, and to put it mildly, they were terrifying. The AI produced a 3-dimensional map of the entire island, showing every tunnel, every flood channel, and every man-made object. But deep in the center of the map, far away from the Money Pit and Smith's Cove, a new area glowed with an intense red light. The AI labeled it Zone 17 Anomaly. No one had ever dug there. It was considered unimportant, just a patch of solid bedrock. But the AI insisted that this was the island's true secret. The report that came with the map was even more shocking. The system stated with 99.9% certainty that there was no significant amount of gold, silver, or jewels anywhere on the island. The legends, it concluded, were a historical misdirection. Instead, the AI detected a massive high-density metallic object buried 200 feet down in Zone 17. It was emitting what the report called a structured, low-frequency electromagnetic field. This meant whatever was down there was not just a hunk of metal, it was active. It was humming with energy. The most stunning detail was the material analysis. The AI reported that the object's metallic alloy did not correspond to any known element or compound on the periodic table. It was, for all intents and purposes, alien to our science. Rick and Marty stared at the screen, the dream of gold vanishing, replaced by a much bigger and scarier reality. Many people are crazy about the Templar theory, but even that couldn't explain this. This wasn't ancient, this was something else entirely. The AI had just ripped up the treasure map and handed them a blueprint to something beyond human comprehension. The team was armed with a new coordinate and a terrifying new mission. They had to dig in Zone 17 and find out what was generating that impossible energy field. They were about to learn that some secrets are buried for a reason and that the curse was more real than they could ever imagine. The real mystery of Oak Island was only just beginning to unfold, erasing the evidence. Armed with the AI's jaw-dropping data, the Lagina team felt a mix of terror and excitement. For the first time, they weren't guessing. They were following a precise digital map to a target that was still pulsing with energy. They moved their heavy equipment to the so-called Zone 17, a quiet wooded area of the island. The moment the massive drill touched the ground, strange things started to happen. The air grew cold, and a low, almost inaudible humming sound seemed to come from the earth itself. Workers reported headaches and feelings of intense anxiety. Their electronic equipment, from cell phones to walkie-talkies, started malfunctioning. Just 40 feet down, they hit something that wasn't bedrock. It was a perfectly smooth, black, glassy surface that was impenetrable to their drills. It didn't crack, it didn't scratch, and it was unnaturally cold to the touch. The material was completely unknown. As they broadcast a live feedback to the war room, the AI that was monitoring the dig sent an urgent alert. Energy field fluctuations detected. Recommend immediate cessation of drilling. But it was too late. Before anyone could react, a powerful electromagnetic pulse shot up from the borehole, frying every camera and sensor on site. The entire island went dark. What happened next felt like something out of a movie. Within 3 hours, the island was swarmed. Unmarked black helicopters descended from the sky, and a fleet of military-style trucks arrived via the causeway. Men in dark tactical gear with no insignias swarmed the site, ordering everyone to drop their tools and step away. They weren't Canadian military and they weren't American. They answered to no one Rick or Marty recognized. The team was herded into a temporary structure and told they were under a national security quarantine. The official story, fed to the media a day later, was that the team had breached a pocket of toxic, radioactive gas, and the government had stepped in to secure the site for environmental reasons. But the team knew this was a lie. There was no gas. There was a cover-up in full swing. For the next 48 hours, they watched as these mysterious agents took over their life's work. They brought in huge containers and advanced scanning equipment. Under the glare of portable floodlights, a massive crane was used to lift something enormous from the ground in Zone 17, something covered in a giant black tarp. The thing nobody tells you is what happened to the data. The AI company that had partnered with the team suddenly issued a statement that their findings were inconclusive and likely the result of a sensor glitch. The original report vanished from their servers. The team's own copies of the data were confiscated. It was a systematic erasure of evidence happening right before their eyes. Rick and Marty were given a stark warning. They were to never speak of what the AI found or what happened in Zone 17. The Curse of Oak Island show was put on indefinite hiatus, citing production challenges. The world's greatest mystery had been solved, only to be locked away in a deeper, darker vault of secrecy. But in the digital age, secrets have a way of getting out. The Templar Doomsday Device. The official lockdown of Oak Island was meant to end the story, but instead it lit a fuse that exploded across the internet. You see, the mysterious organization that seized the island may have confiscated the hardware, but they missed one thing. A junior data analyst at the AI firm had made a personal encrypted backup of the original Zone 17 report. Terrified of the implications, he leaked the entire file onto the dark web. Within hours, it had been picked up by conspiracy forums, Reddit threads, and investigative journalists who knew the official toxic gas story was a sham. The world was about to see what the government was so desperate to hide. The leaked document was even more explosive than anyone imagined. It wasn't just a map, it was a full analysis. The AI had concluded the object was a stabilized power core, approximately the size of a small bus, weighing thousands of tons. Its energy output, though low, was constant, suggesting it had been running for an incredibly long time. The report estimated its age to be no less than 15,000 years old. This single fact shattered every known theory. This technology predated the pyramids, Stonehenge, and every known advanced civilization. It was a remnant from a lost chapter of Earth's history. 3 mind-bending theories immediately went viral, each more incredible than the last. The first was the ancient alien technology theory. Ufologists pointed to the report's claim of a non-terrestrial alloy and engineering patterns inconsistent with human biology. They argued Oak Island was an ancient alien outpost and the power core was either a beacon, a ship's engine, or a terraforming device left behind eons ago. The so-called booby traps weren't to protect treasure, but to prevent primitive humans from meddling with powerful alien tech. The second was the lost civilization theory. Proponents of this idea claimed this was the ultimate proof of a civilization like Atlantis. They argued that a highly advanced prehistoric human society had created a global energy grid, and the Oak Island core was one of its last remaining power stations. The intricate tunnels were simply cooling channels for this ancient reactor. This theory suggested that humanity had been technologically advanced once before and had fallen, leaving this dangerous remnant behind. The AI leak even included strange geometric schematics that looked like blueprints for a machine beyond our making. Finally, there was the Templar Doomsday Device theory. This one was the darkest. It suggested the Knights Templar hadn't found the Holy Grail in Jerusalem, but rather this ancient power source. Believing it to be a divine or demonic artifact, they re-engineered it into a potential weapon of immense power. They buried it on Oak Island, creating the elaborate water traps not to keep people out, but to create a permanent failsafe, a way to flood and neutralize the device if it ever threatened to overload. What many overlooked was that the symbols found in the chamber perfectly matched obscure Templar alchemy texts describing a captured star. The world was now in a frenzy. The conversation had shifted from where is the treasure to what did they awaken. But the final part of the leak held the most terrifying secret of all: waking a sleeping giant. As the world debated aliens and lost civilizations, the final section of the leaked AI report surfaced, and it made the discovery of a single power core seem like child's play. What many overlooked in the initial frenzy was a small data packet at the end of the analysis labeled Subterranean Resonance Network. The AI, after identifying the Zone 17 power core, hadn't stopped its analysis. It had detected that the energy pulses from the object were not random. They were a signal, a form of communication, and that signal was getting a response. The AI mapped faint, echoing energy signatures coming from deep within the Earth's crust. It was a network. The Oak Island core was just one node in a vast, interconnected global system. The AI's map showed at least 7 other similar energy sources hidden across the planet, all linked together. One was deep beneath the Antarctic ice sheet. Another was in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, and a third was located under the vast Gobi Desert. To put it mildly, this wasn't just a machine. It was a planetary system that had been lying dormant for thousands of years. The most chilling revelation was that the drilling in Zone 17 had acted like a switch. The AI's logs showed that the moment the drill touched the outer casing of the power core, the entire network began to wake up. The energy output of the Oak Island node spiked by 200%, and for the first time in millennia, the other nodes began responding in a synchronized cascade. The humming that the workers heard wasn't just in their heads, it was the sound of a global system powering on. This explained the government's panicked response. They weren't just covering up the discovery of an artifact, they were trying to prevent a worldwide event of unknown consequence. This new information gave terrifying weight to all the major theories. If it was an alien network, had humanity just alerted someone that we're here? Had we tripped a silent alarm left behind by a cosmic visitor? If it was an Atlantean power grid, had we just reactivated a system we have no idea how to control? A system that may have been responsible for that civilization's own destruction? The Templar theory became even darker. Maybe it wasn't a single weapon, but a global defense system, and we had just armed it without knowing who the enemy was. The final line of the report was a single, terrifying coordinate. It wasn't one of the other nodes, it was a point in the deep Pacific Ocean, in a region known for its mysterious disappearances and strange magnetic anomalies. The AI labeled it the Network Control Nexus. It was the heart of the entire system. Was this a final destination, a warning, or an invitation? The thing is, we may never know. The world is left to wonder if all this happened overnight, or if we are missing a key detail. Are we on the brink of a new age of discovery, or have the Lagina brothers, with the help of an AI, just started a countdown to a global catastrophe? The truth is still out there, buried not just under one island, but under the entire world. Is this advanced technology a gift from the past or a warning for our future? If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, hit the like button and subscribe for more mysteries.